Okay, this is our big block.
Is it loud?
You guys stand a little closer. Get you in the photo.
Is it loud?
Andrew drug this old beast out yesterday, and I was a little apprehensive about starting it up. Wasn't sure how much time we had, but we're okay. This old engine is what we classify as an 8V71 Detroit.
Yeah.
V8, 8 cylinders, 71 cubic inches per cylinder, so it's got 568 cubic inches. That translates into 9.3 liters. This engine is no longer legal to run in the state of California, much less the United States, because they pollute too bad. You guys in small engines, how many of you know about two-stroke engines? What do you find two-stroke engines on? Chainsaws, weed eaters. This is a two-stroke engine. It's just a bigger two-stroke engine. If you could put this on a weed eater, dude, I don't want to mess with you. Okay? So we keep Old Ugly around so that we can make noise every once in a while. And my diesel engines class, they know what's going to happen here. I start it up once a year, and I drag this thing out for a couple of reasons. Number one is to show that a lot of the technology that they're touting as new and improved is not new and improved. You hear a lot of these car manufacturers tell you, yeah, our engine, we now have roller rockers. Cool, that's lovely. I love it. Ford, a few years back, they advertised, we have piston cooling jets in our engines. Yeah, whoop-de-doo, big deal. These engines were designed and came into production in 1938. Guess what they have? Roller rockers. They have piston cooling jets, as do every one of our diesel engines that we work on. So Ford's not telling us anything new. But this is a two-stroke diesel. It's got a big blower on the top of it. Who's into drag racing? Hot rodding. You know what an 871 blower is? That right there. So if you've got a big block and they put an 871 blower on it, this is what they used to do. They would take the blowers off of these engines and mount them to that gasoline engine. Where we talked about a turbocharger, more air,
More horsepower.
more fuel, more
Horsepower.
more power. The deal with this engine is it won't run without the blower. The whole block is pressurized. So for this thing to breathe, we have to pressurize the block. So it will not run without the blower. If I want more power, I'll put a turbocharger on it. It won't run without the blower. Now, the last time we started this, we had a little issue. What was that issue, guys? The cops showed up. Why did the police show up? Yeah, you're about to find out. Because it was too loud. There's classes over here across the way. This thing fired up, we let it sit and idle, all of a sudden you see all the doors close. We let it run a little bit, and all of a sudden, Tim Martin, one of our cops, pulls in and goes, hey, we got a noise complaint on you guys. I look at him and I go, cool. So we're going to see what we can do here and make a little bit of racket. The zoomies are for appearance. That one got bent the other night when they were moving it around. The zoomies for our appearance. The ports off the side of the head are actually oval. The zoomies are round, so it's actually diminishing horsepower. But it's okay. But it's fun to make noise with. We've got fuel, we got this, we got power. Let's see what we can do here. 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118, 119, 120, along, I do this, 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 feel a little bit of heat. If I have heat, that means I have combustion, right? I come over here, I feel cold, heat, heat, cold. Means I have two dead cylinders. If you take this engine apart and you look at the cylinder walls, they're not straight up and down. They do this. This thing's got a lot of time, a lot of wear on it. Which valve or which cylinders have valves open right now? See the smoke coming out of this one? Remember somebody said a valve open? Told you at least one cylinder or more will have valves open. That one's open. And I think this one up front was open. Well, let's see if we can make a little noise.
Sounds like a plan.
Ouch. No cops yet. If you ever get next to an old school bus, you know the old Crowns? I think all of them are said, I think they've got theirs all traded off. The old Crown school bus are kind of the rounded old school style. If you get up next to those, they'll have one of these engines in it. They're usually a 6-cylinder. They call them a pancake engine. What they do with these is on those 6 cylinders, instead of standing up, they lay them down. They make the oil pan make this weird jog. So if you sit next to a bus, Mariposa is loaded with those old Crown school buses. Get next to them, you can hear them. You hear that sound. It's got that tin can sound to it. You're sitting next to a Detroit diesel engine. So this engine, at one day, it was the crown to have. They called it a 318. Somebody has a 318, it was rated at 318 horsepower. So you look at this engine and you go, good God, it's got 568 cubic inches, 9.3 liters, and all it puts out is 318 horsepower. It's not the horsepower we're after, it's the torque we're after. And these engines don't put out anywhere near the torque of what those two tractors will right there. But there used to be a ton of these things running up and down the road. Tons of them. But they have all been misplaced because they can't get them to meet smog. We run ours. I'll run this one every once in a while just until the Air Resources Board tells me I can't do it anymore. So we'll see what kind of fine they give me.
Air Resources Board, man, there's a board there.
There's a board for everything. So if you want to see how things work, let's take a look on the inside.
Oh, baby.
Oh, yeah.
I'm getting to the front.
So when you look on the top of this thing, let's see what we have here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 valves per cylinder. Because it's a 2-stroke, those valves are strictly exhaust valves. The intakes, there's holes in the cylinder liners that we take out. That would be the intake side of it. So we're using a slide port. The piston is a slide port, very similar to your little chainsaws. These tubes right here. Can I talk about common rail? Yeah, we've got a common rail system on our fuel system on our pickup. Whoop-de-doo. Okay. What year did I tell you this thing came out?
38.
38, yeah. Guess what? Common rail system. Nothing different. So the injectors are located here, 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 and here. One of these is a fuel supply line. The other one's a fuel return line. The fuel pump on this is only about this big. It's a little gear drive pump. Just a little guy. So we have 2 rocker arms activating 4 valves because they're using a bridge on them. This 3rd rocker arm right in the middle, that's what's activating our injector. Okay. If you hear an old timer say he's got to go run the rack on a piece of equipment, this is where it came from. Because to set these injectors, you have to run the rack. So we can fire this thing up and you can see everything off, everything happening to it. So we'll fire it off. So what I'm going to have you guys do is back up a little bit because I'm not going to rev it while it's running, but it sprays a little bit of oil.
A little bit.
Clear?
Yeah.
Even at idle, it's loud. But by pulling this rocker cover, and on any of our engines, we can pull the rocker covers off, and I showed you how all that stuff works. Slow motion, turn them over by hand, get them to run, pull the rocker set off, and you can see all the valves move, all that other stuff. It drives home a whole new point on how stuff happens. But you see which ones are open. Yeah, the ones that are smoking. There should be one or two open on either side. Old, antiquated, you know, the new stuff is really cool, but these guys would much rather listen to this thing than that stuff. That stuff's way too quiet. You gotta make some noise. I've had people go, or some of my students will go, man, you gotta put that in a pull tractor, it'd be really cool. Doesn't produce enough horsepower. Cool. The RPMs on it, even when I had it at full tilt, it's only capping out at about 1,800 revolutions per minute. It sounds like it's screaming. The reason it sounds like it's sounds like it's screaming because it's popping on every upstroke. There's no suck, squeeze, bang, and fart on this one. It's firing on every stroke. Every stroke it's firing. That's why it sounds like it's revving to the moon, because we're hearing double the number of fires.
Amazing.
That's pretty cool. Talk to an old Detroit mechanic, they'll tell you, yep, nothing wrong with a Detroit. Biggest advantage to them is they leak. They leak oil everywhere they go. Well, they don't leak oil, they mark their territory. Dog goes up to fire hydrant, does that, that's what they do. So this one, usually out of these drip tubes, they'll drip oil constantly. There's a drip tube on each side. They're designed to do that. So you can haul fruit and oil the roads at the same time. Cool?
You don't need an oil rest.
Okay.
For a bullet, do it, you still do.
Let's go inside and kind of organize this. Let me grab some plate.
Girl, you need help?
You know what I made?